What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ranch with Ray. My name is Rainice Mitchell, and I am here because I have a message for you all. Good day, good day, good day, as my mom would say. It is currently September 7th, 2025, Sunday, and as I sit in the middle of an answered prayer, I literally, I just have to say, man, God is so good. God is so good. And I'm so grateful for everything. I don't feel led to go too much into detail on what I'm referring to just yet. But just know that me sitting in the middle of one of my answered prayers is a sign or confirmation to you that you're getting ready to sit in yours, okay? And the title is don't don't be the person that can see everyone else so clearly, but you're blind to yourself. And it says the door is already open, you just have to walk through it. So God gave me that message by it's I was looking at this painting, and it's a painting of an open door leading to somewhere, right? And God is saying for a lot of you all, y'all are in the phase of the journey where the door is open. You no longer have to struggle. You no longer have to sit in the traumatic remnants of the past. You no longer have to be the old version of yourself. If you just walk through this door, you're going to walk away from who you used to be, the life you used to live, into the version of yourself that God has called you to be, and who the version of yourself that'll be able to handle this next version. I meant this next season of events, right? And you don't want to be the one that always has answers for everyone else and advice for everyone else, and you can critique someone on this and that, but you don't, you're not applying that same method to your own life. And God is saying a lot of you all have some major things in store, some super big things, but you got to walk through the door. You have to walk through the door. And when I say the phrase walk through the door, for some of you all, that can be going forward with a move. Because for a lot of you all, it's going to be suddenly, like it's going to be so sudden, this shift that's taking place. And the old version of yourself will try to pull you back or keep you held back in a state of what used to work. And what feels safe, because the unknown it doesn't feel safe, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what to expect. And that's scary, you know? But God is saying you have to take this first step and walk through the door, because that you taking that first step is saying you trust God, okay? And what he's going to do, because as you take that first step and trust God, he's going to show up for you. As you take that first step into this new season, You're going to see how God is going to show up for you. You're not going to have to work as hard. You're not going to have to strive so hard. Like, not saying that you won't do anything. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm just saying because you're going to have to put in work, but that work is going to look different for each individual, right? When I say work, it's going to be like you have to, it's not going to be where you are slaving to get certain things done, where you're running into obstacle after obstacle, where you're taking 2 steps forward, getting pushed 20 steps back. It's not going to be like that anymore. Like, as you walk through the door, you're walking into a new level of covering, a new level, a new covenant. And it's only going to happen if you decide to walk through the door, because you have free will. So it's important to know that you walking through this door is you saying yes to what God has for you. You saying yes to what you've been praying for. Because as I was in the midst of transitioning, I have to be honest, like, I found myself self-sabotaging, holding myself back. And I'm like, why? Like, I really had to sit back and ask myself, like, why are you holding yourself back? Why are you delaying in doing this? Why are you procrastinating? Why are you choosing not to move forward? And I had to realize I'm scared. I was scared at that moment, right? I was scared, and I was like, this is, I don't know if I can fully trust this. But I felt in that moment, if I kept delaying and did not move forward and walk through the door, that I was going to be stuck in another cycle of repeating the past wilderness that God was trying to pull me out of, y'all. So I'm telling you all that to say that don't sabotage this blessing that God is trying to give you. Don't sabotage yourself, okay? Walk through the door. Even if you're scared, walk through the door, because everything that you've been praying for, everything that you've been desiring, everything that you deserve is on the other side of that door. But if you don't walk through it, if you don't make the decision to come into agreement with whatever God is asking you to do, you won't be able to receive what's rightfully yours. And that was like the meat of the message. Like, that's why I couldn't do a video like these past 3 days. It was like a battle of if I was going to move forward with the decision or stay in the current position that I was in. But I knew staying in the current position that I was in was no longer safe. The current position that I was in was no longer conducive to the overall goal of my journey, my purpose. And I had to choose between, do you want to stay with what's more familiar and what you think is safe over what God has for you? Because, I mean, we've seen what the result of your decisions and what you think, we've seen the results of that. And it hasn't gotten you really far. So are you going to trust God, or are you going to trust your own logic? And I had to make the decision to move forward, and it was the best thing that I could have done, y'all. I already have seen so much favor, since I made the decision to move forward. So God is saying, once you make this decision to walk through the door, life is going to become easier. That heavy yoke of poverty, of illness, of scattered brain, of confusion, of anger, anxiety, fear, broken relationships, that cycle, those cycles are over. Those cycles are done. But you got to walk through the door. And I'm not saying that you won't experience any type of spiritual warfare ever again. No. It'll be a new type of warfare, and it'll just, everything will be different. But you're about to get a break, for a little while, because for whoever this video is for, you've been going through setback after setback after setback after setback after setback after setback after setback. But those setbacks worked for your good, because before God will allow you to experience a blessing too early, where the blessing can become dangerous, He will allow you to be delayed. He will, and then you have your own sins that build up delay as well. So just know that God has used all of the delay, all of the setbacks, and all of the spiritual warfare to strengthen you up and to get ready to slingshot you forward into who He has called you to be. You're getting ready to move into your promised land. And you walking through the door is going to be the initiation of that. Okay? Understand that the past, the comfortability of the past is an illusion. The comfortability of the past is really a prison. It's a cage with beautiful, luxurious curtains around it, and a couch inside, and a bed with a refrigerator full of food and TV. But you're still locked up in a prison in a cage. It's just dressed up and super comfortable. You get what I'm saying? And the enemy has a really tricky way, a really strategic way of making certain prisons or certain personal hells that we have created for ourselves, or allowed the enemy to create through certain legal access. We've allowed ourselves to get comfortable in those prisons, to make homes out of those prisons. And it's because a lot of you all have the spirit of adaptability, meaning you can go anywhere and thrive. You can go anywhere and make it into a home. You are a creator. Wherever you go will flourish, right? But that can also be, it could be a blessing and it can be a curse, in a way where if you aren't careful with that, you can find yourself comfortable in a prison. You're comfortable in filth. You're comfortable in hell. You're comfortable in places that God didn't call you to be. You're too comfortable in places that aren't meant for that aren't worthy of your spirit, that aren't worthy of your presence. And don't allow that gift of being able to be in a home within, and being able to make anywhere home. Don't allow that blessing to bite you back in the butt in the end, by keeping you comfortable in a prison. Kind of like the saying when people say, well, let me not use that one, but, well, yeah, boo-boo dressed up as sugar, right? Like, the word, the S word, cuss word. So, it's important to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in this new season. You have the gift of having spirit of having the Holy Spirit operate through you, and just having a spirit of peace within yourself, to where anywhere you go feels like home, but also having the gift of being able to move swiftly, moving when God tells you to move. So, and practicing the law of detachment, not becoming too attached to certain things, because what I had noticed in the midst of this transition, God was like, you have to pay attention to how attached you become to things outside of yourself, how attached you become out to things outside of me and my will for your life. And it's like a battle of the flesh over the spirit. Right now, whoever this video is for, we're not even just for y'all, but really everybody right now, we're moving into a more intense battle of the flesh versus the spirit. And we're about to really see in real time, not no more with the walk and the talk, not no more with the who has fruit and who don't got fruit, who got money and who don't got money, who got the bigger church and the bigger this and bigger that. No. What we're going to start to see is we're going to start to see the fruit and the decisions that people are making. And dang, I forgot what I was about to say. It was so powerful too, but I feel like God is going to bring it back to me. But we're moving into a space where it's going to be flesh versus spirit. And okay, I remember now, y'all. We're about to really see who has been listening more. We're about to see people's true spirit, right? And the way we're going to see it is because everybody's actions up until this point and from this point on, like if a person has been making decisions based off of their flesh, it is going to be very, what's the word? Very clear, very significant, right? And if someone has been listening more to their spirit, they've been fasting, they've been obedient to what God is asking them to do, the different things, right? You're going to be able to tell in a person's decisions, in a person's interactions, in a person's energy. Like the veil is becoming thinner and thinner every day. And don't allow your gift to fool you. Don't allow your gift to fool you into believing that the prison is a promise. That is good. Thank you, God. Don't allow the gift to fool you into thinking that the prison is the promise, because it's not. It's not. It's just a stepping stone, a transitional period, a moment in time that will pass, right? So the point of this video, you guys, is don't be the one that can see everyone else so clearly, but you can't see yourself. The one that has all the answers for everyone else, all the advice for everyone else, but you don't apply those same methods, those same strategies to yourself in your own life. Don't allow the gift to make you believe the prison is the promise, because it's not. It's not. You have a gift of creating home anywhere you go, right? But that gift is a gift to have, so when God sends you in strange places, foreign places, you will be able to still have peace. Not for you to become complacent in places that He has not called you to be in longer than what He has called you to be there for. Walk through this door so you can be able to experience the fruits of your labor, of this all the spiritual work that you've been putting in this far, all the physical work that you've been putting in this far, everything. God has so much in store for you, but you gotta walk through the door. If you don't decide to walk through the door, you will repeat the same cycles that you have been crying to God to get out of. This is a message of motivation, of promise, of guarantee that when you jump and you take the leap of faith, that God will catch you. No matter how high the mountaintop is that you have to jump from. God has never forsaken the righteousness, and he will not start now. Literally, I was procrastinating and making the step and moving forward and walking through the door. But the second I walked through the door, it was like I knew this was I knew this was the right decision. And I was able to see God move swiftly in certain places just for me making that one move. So you guys, on this beautiful Sunday, I just want to tell y'all, walk through the door, because it is some beautiful things on the other side that will completely blow your mind. Okay? I love y'all. God loves you so much more. Take this message back to God. Take me back to God and make sure it's for you. And again, don't be the one that sees everybody else. Don't be the one that got all the answers for everybody else, but you don't got none for yourself. You haven't applied none of the advice that you give to other people to yourself. You got all the answers for everybody else's life, but your life is all over the place. No more of that. God is saying it's time to go all in. And you're in a season where a lot of you may feel like you don't have anything. And a lot of you may really, really not have anything. But God is saying everything had to fall apart. Everything had to fall away. So what he has for you can fall together and fall into place. So get excited, get ready, because you're walking into a season where it is about to be the best thus far. It's about to be the best thus far, and it's only going to get greater from here. So I love y'all. I don't want to hold you guys too long. Stay prayed up, stay blessed up, and know that as you walk through this door, everything that you have been praying for is on the other side. All right. Peace. I love y'all. Oh, wait. I'm talking about peace, love y'all, real quick, y'all. If you haven't moved yet, get ready, because there's about to be an emergency move. It's important to make this move, because I don't know how long the door is going to be open. I don't know how long the window of opportunity is going to be there. But it's important to walk through the door as soon as possible, because God is saying it's not going to be open for long. All right. I love y'all. Peace.